Microsoft's AI has gone too far.
Oh, okay. So what does that mean?
What does that mean? So it has decided to start placing different polls on certain articles,
Oh, that's
asking some
interesting.
very not so great questions.
Yes, I could see how that could happen because I don't know if anyone is actually vetting what's going to be posted on these polls.
Yeah, so I guess the issue is that yeah, like you said, there's nobody like checking who's checking this AI and like what it's doing. So Microsoft's AI has placed a distasteful poll, which I think it really is. That's a light way of putting it. About the way, like, what do you think the reason behind this woman's death was?
That was a very generous way of you putting it because that is not an acceptable thing to put
Not
online.
distasteful.
That is
It,
you were being very generous with saying that it
yeah.
was not it is
So I'll be
this is
placing it right
crazy.
here, but it was right next to. So when you're viewing this article, it would be the article from The Guardian, and then right next to it to the right is a poll questioning whether
Yeah.
like what your thoughts were on it, and it's just like what
That is insane. That is
the
legitimately
AI
insane.
wants to know. It
What is
wants
going to
to
use that
know.
information for?
I don't know. Just wanted to know. It wants more engagement.
That's yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's going about it the right way if it's posting things like that.
Yeah. So as you can imagine, people were not excited, not too thrilled when they saw this because people started commenting on this poll. So the poll has its own like comment section, and people were not too happy about this.
I could
I can
imagine
imagine.
that. Yeah, this is like I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it's a disgusting poll.
Yeah, this is insane. Like,
So the Guardian was like pissed off because they thought that this was ruining their reputation because people, I mean, like they would assume that if it's on that page when they click on the video or not the video, the article, that anything on that article page belongs to
Guardian.
the
Yeah,
Guardian. And
that's what I would assume.
yeah, it's like, oh, they wanted us to see this. Like they must have enabled this feature or put this poll up. Like they wouldn't assume that Microsoft did this. Like why would they do it? Like this is your article. So like they were saying that this is because irreparable harm to Guardian's image because it was up for quite a few days before they were able to take it down.
Quite a few days.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So the thing is, too, I can understand the Guardian's point of view because the thing is that as a news channel or as a person that delivers the news as a segue to the news, the Guardian doesn't necessarily want to be in the news.
Not in this type of light, especially like this touchy stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure they these like things were probably these polls were probably on other articles,
Yeah.
but they were probably not as like heavy hitting like subjects as like this type of like content where like people don't want to hear like this like oh you're like the poll made it seem like it was taking light of the subject like like oh like what do you think this the cause of this was like
It was, yeah. The
it's like Blue's Clues, like where do you think the clue is?
Oh my god! But think about this. Think about if the New York Times picked up this article saying it's like the Guardian.
Oh, the Guardian
the
is
Guardian is posting these absurd polls, and yeah, I'm pretty sure they would do their due diligence and say it's like, oh, it's by like
or like reach out to the Guardian
Microsoft.
like what is going on.
Yeah, and the thing is that as a like even if that was just a title, I would be like, oh my god, the Guardian's doing this. I'm not gonna be reading the Guardian, or I'm not gonna support the Guardian if their writers or their practices is
they
to
don't
do
care.
things like that. Yeah.
So yeah, and Microsoft's response to this was that they deactivated this AI that was generating polls on news articles. And then they also said that they were now going to take steps to stop this type of content from appearing next to articles and to inform these news agencies when they they put experimental AI on their articles.
Yeah, I think that's a good step. I think they probably should have done that before. I think that I don't know if they did like any type of like user testing or even just going back and looking and seeing it's like, oh, okay, this is what some groups are seeing and these are what some other groups are assessing, like testing of it all. Because it doesn't seem like that was happening.
Yeah. So if you like this type of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button.
Yes, we put out videos daily. We have a library of over 200 videos. I'm pretty sure there's something in there that you will like. We talk about a lot of varying topics. And the thing is, subscribing is free. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really does help out the channel. So consider subscribing.
Yeah. So I think if you stay this long, this last tidbit's for you. I think this is like a weird age now of like this weird misinformation, because now these AI like technology or like different applications are going in and like kind of twisting the view of like people. They see this like article and they're already heated from it, and then they're like, oh, like very upset because like, this is a very tragic thing to happen. But then they see this poll and then like they're like, what in the world? So the perception is being changed by this AI technology. Like it's already going in there like and doing stuff without any human like moderation or human like interaction to like say like, oh, this, it would take pretty much anybody would look at this and be like, yeah, that's probably not a good thing to add to this. And then be like, no.
Yeah.
So like to an AI, it's like, oh, like maybe this would be interesting for them to know. It's like, what do you think?
But think about this. The AI chat bot is getting more attention than the actual news article.
That is true.
Which is also another big issue. The thing is that's going to happen next is AI articles.
Oh, yeah.
And then AI chat bot.
I think there's these... This will be a different art. Like if you stay this long, you get a preview of what a next video would be. But there has been a lot of different discourse about the use of chat scraping on Reddit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So these Redditors were posting fake information on their subreddit because they thought that a lot of the news articles that were coming out were kind of mimicking what the different rooms or different forums they had. So they started typing some crazy stuff that wasn't true, and all of a sudden these articles started popping up with like not correct information because the information was being taken from the Reddit.
Insane. This is news to me, by the way. You're getting my firsthand reaction of all this. This is insane. I did not know that.
Yeah, so that would be, I think, the next level of thing, because like that's like a step in the other direction where like I'm pretty sure it's a human reporter or journalist taking the information from Reddit and then synthesizing it down to an article of their own, or maybe just like copying and pasting it, who knows. But with AI, they could go take all that information and then put it into a chat bot, another like chat GPT like things like, oh, make an article about this. And then bam, they have their own like slightly different article, but about a topic.
That's crazy. Actually, the very last thing before before we end this segment, did you hear about like how a lot of the articles that are being reproduced just have very slightly very slight variations? Like, let's say this story was written, then another news article picks it up and it's just slight enough in word changes where it's different. That's also happening as well. It's a lot of these things. If misinformation is being spread around and a news article picks it up, most likely it's all the
other ones are going to pick it up too.
Also, all the other ones are going to be picking it up too. So just something to think about. Yes, changing of the times.
I don't know. Definitely changing the times, but also I think it's the speed of news. And like, I don't know if, this is the speculation, but I don't know if there is enough time for a human to verify whether something is true or false before posting it. If they want to get enough momentum on their posting,
Yeah.
So like if something comes out, I feel like it's a race to see who can like create something fast enough to be one of the top articles
Yeah.
posting about this thing, so they get all the clicks.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, you know,
It's 100% a race. I totally agree with you on that, by the way.
because I think if you look at the like amendments or updates, a lot of times these articles will like later on will have like a bunch of updates.
Yeah.
Saying
they
oh,
will.
like, oh, this changed and that changed and we found this about, and they're like, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of that happens. But let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let us know your thoughts. And if you stayed this long, consider subscribing, because we come out with stories like this all the time. So
Yeah, and I mean, the last bit always typically devolves into like like this conversation. So
yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting personally. But yes, let us know your thoughts down below.